All right, so in this video, we are going to take a look at our differences in degrees. So this is a guide that we're going to look at in just a second. Let me move my controls again because, again, they tend to get in the way. All right, so we're going to take a look at the AAS and ABUS. So first off, an Associates of Applied Science. That's what AAS stands for. And this degree in the past was one that was non-transferable. In other words, it wasn't really set up to go to universities. However, AAS degrees are accepted by universities in most cases these days. Basically, universities a few years back got in trouble for just not playing nice, right? No, we don't want to take your stuff. And so then they would say, oh, your astronomy class is not a science, so you got to take this biology class from us. It's like, what? Astronomy is not a science. And so they were really kind of being mean to the student and to community colleges. So we would, do our best to comply with whatever they wanted, and then they would change the rules. And so basically, the state government here in Arizona got really upset and said, what's the deal? Stop doing that. Now, NAU and ASU, and we'll get more into this later, play very nicely. So in other words, they'll take a look at your credits and go, those look valuable. We're going to take those. And ASU and NAU will both tell you in their tech degrees that they offer, we'll take an AAS, basically as the first 2 years of your education. And so it's no longer the problem it was. This is the degree that almost all students go into here at EA. I do want to point out that U of A doesn't play as nice, so if you're really saying, oh, I want to head to U of A, then it's best if you just take some computer courses here, understanding and knowing that they're not really going to like those, and why you're taking them here so that you can get experience or you can get certification that they're not going to really honor. And what they're going to be more concerned about is whether or not you took English and math and stuff like that. So any U of A doesn't play as nice as the others, but we get into all of that later. So that's just a little bit to kind of frame what we're looking at. Our other degree program is an ABUS, which is an Associate of Business, and that one is really for degrees at the higher level that are business computers, MIS degrees, management information systems, those kind of things. And so you'll see in this particular one, tons and tons of business classes and like 3 computer classes. And that's why most people take this one, because this is the one that has all the computer classes in it, and many of them geared towards some type of certification. And so if you know people that are in, getting business degrees, then you may want to actually mention to them, hey, you should check out this other degree, ABUS, if you can remember, or just have them talk to me, because it is a way to basically get a business degree and show that you've got some computer skills. And it's one of the things I always mention in my 103 classes, because a business degree is a business degree. And when you get something that has some computer skills in it and then move on to a business degree, it really shows, hey, I'm not just the business person. I can actually work with machines and computers and understand them and deal with them. So in my opinion, for those that are going into business, like I'm going to eventually get an MBA, starting out with an ABUS is really good, because it's something that you can put on your resume and say, yeah, I took these computer classes because I understand computers. So that's what we're going to take a look at, these 2 things. So I've got the course sequence pulled up, and this is what you're going to be dealing with. This is what you are going to actually fill out and deal with. And I would prefer if you actually make notes right on top of the PDF file, like this PDF that I'm looking at here. I would prefer it if you just made notes on that and turned it in PDF. But this is the only assignment that I'll actually take a physical copy of, because lots of times it's just easier to write in right here in the notes section or over here on the side right here, what you're trying to do when you're trying to take things, um, and then just, hand it to me. But make a copy beforehand or ask me to make a copy because I can go over to the copy machine and make a copy so you have it. And that's why I mentioned before a lot of students will lose this, and they'll lose it because, well, they're computer students and it's a piece of paper. I mean, I lose paper. I got papers all over my desk. I don't know what they're doing here, right? So that's if you got a tablet, if you got an iPad, this is super easy. It's barely an inconvenience. So you can just type right in here what you want. So I actually have you fill this out on here. However, if you're one of those students that's like, yeah, I know how to use Excel, I want to do it on there, no problem. Because right in a PDF, I've got this pulled up in a browser, but in a PDF, you could select all of this. It would select it. You could dump it in an Excel spreadsheet and it would copy those tables over. And then you could just put information out to the side. That's what I did. So when I was going through my educational processes, um, I wanted to know when I was taking things, and I built a spreadsheet because they didn't do this kind of thing. So here at Eastern Arizona College, and it's become common practice at every single institution to have something like this. They'll call them walkthroughs. They'll call them course sequencing guides. They call them different things, pathways, all sorts of different things, but it gives you an idea of when you should take the classes. And so I want to point out that you really need to pay attention to a few things. You need to pay attention to, let me draw on this. You need to pay attention to these sayings right here. Fall only. Fall only. Spring only. Right. That's what you want to pay attention to most. That's the most important thing that these offer to you is they offer these fall only, spring only times. So we're a small program. I would love it if we had 30 students a piece in every single class. I think that would be absolutely fantastic, but we don't. And so you'll notice that some of your classes are small. Because we're small, it means that we can't offer, right? I can't offer CMP 100 in fall and spring, which I would love to do. I can't offer computers 151 in fall and spring because I won't have enough students. There's that break even point. Colleges and universities are businesses, and so we can't just do whatever we want there. So this is a guideline for you, and I would hope you would follow it because it makes your life so much easier. I've actually had students come in and they say, and this may be you, you know what? I took all my generals and now I just want to crank out those computer courses. And I'm like, oh, I wish I would have seen you a year ago, or because because we can't offer all our classes, right? You have to take certain ones in the fall and you have to take certain ones in the spring, and we have it set up for a 2-year, right, 4-semester thing, and it makes it so they're like, oh crap, now I got to be here longer because of that reason, right? So in any case, courses you should be in now, anything that says fall only for the first semester. So if you're in 100, which you are, but you're not in 151, you should be in that class because it's not happening again until the following fall. And they do build on each other. All the other ones, basically, for instance, we say, oh, take English 100. You don't have to take English 100 there. You could take English 100 in the spring semester if you wanted to, because it's offered both semesters. And I do have students that are like, oh, well, geez, I didn't get into that. What am I going to do now? Well, that's no big deal, right? 113 is one of those that's offered both semesters. It's operating systems 1. Web development is offered both semesters. right? So that's 272. You got to take those. You could, that what this is telling you right here is you could take 113 in the fall and 272 in the spring, or you could take 272 in the fall and 113 in the spring, or you could take 272 way down here in the fourth semester, right? Because it's offered both semesters. You don't have to worry so much. So pay attention to fall only, spring onlys. And what your assignment is to do is to actually write down, type in here over to the side or over here, doesn't matter, when you're taking it. So to turn my annotation back on, and then we'll move down. What I would do then is I would say, I am now taking this. So this is going to be fall 2020. That's when I'm taking that. And then let's say we're following this totally truthfully, just like it is. And this will be, see if I can get it to go there. There we go. This will be spring 21. You can't hardly even see that. Oh my goodness, it's terrible. I should change the color on that. In any case, you get the idea. Spring 21. So what I've given you is the basics of realizing that there's certain things in the fall, certain things in the spring, and you need to pay attention to those and get into those classes for those times. There's other things that are not that way. So let me close that off, and we will go down to the fourth semester that you're in. Right, here's a curriculum related course. And what that means is I teach a server class that you don't have to take, and that fits into this, that it could be a part of what you wanted to do. There's also a 273. So you really liked web development, you want to take the advanced web development. So there's a 273 course, and that's not something you have to take either. It's not listed in anywhere in here that you have to take it. Those things are actually down here. Right? There's an app development. So you get into programming and you have to take a programming class right here, C# programming 128, and that's offered in the spring. And you have to take that. And so you take that class and then you're like, wow, I really liked programming. I wonder if they have any other programming classes. Yes, indeed. You can take app development, which is developing for mobile, right? And that one is in the fall. And so actually, I think they switched those. But in any case, that's not listed there, but it fits this general not the general education, the elective course or curriculum related, and that's these, right? So we've got a few classes that we allow you to just kind of say, oh, I think I would like to learn about servers. We do virtual servers in there. And so that I'm going to take right here in the second semester for the spring. And I need that. So I'm going to, write right in here, spring 21. So really what you're doing is you're building this plan. Let me move those back in place. So you're building this plan, this roadmap that you have of being able to say, oh, right, this is when I'm taking those classes. So there's no guessing. And you would do that for English 100, English 101. So I'm not just saying, oh, just write down for our courses. I'm saying, oh, okay, are you taking English 101 now? Then right over here on the side, put fall 2020. I'm taking it right now. That's what that means. If you're not, then you would put it down here, right? You would say, not put it down here, right here next to this, you would say, oh, I'm actually going to take that spring 2021. Does that make sense? Because a lot of people will look at this and they go, well, no, I got to stick it right there. I can't move them, right? No, you can move them. The only ones you can't move, right, are falls and spring onlys. Those you have to comply with. The rest of them, for instance, again, on 113, you could say, well, I'm not going to take 113 or 272 until the fourth semester. It'll be one of the last classes I take. So I'm going to take that spring 22. right? So the idea is that you're going through every single line of this and you're writing down when you're going to take that course, and you're writing down what you're going to take. So if you have a general education elective, that's a GE, right? Then that's a ton of different things that you could take. Maybe you want to take sociology or family life or I don't know what. You would write down, I'm going to take sociology, and that is going to be on such and such semester. And that's what you figure out. That's what you do. Every single one of these needs to have what you're taking when you're taking. And if you do that, then you get 100 points on this. Now, I always have a few people that are like, well, I came to take this class because I wanted to see what careers were out there in technology. I really don't know if I'm going to get a tech degree. That's okay. I want you to fill this out so that you can understand how it works. If right now you're thinking, no, I just took this class because I wanted to see what was in the tech world, but I'm getting an education degree, so I've already got my stuff. Okay, we'll go and find the course sequence for that and fill it out, right? So you'll have to put your name on here someplace, you know. And again, if you're doing this on a computer, you can do exactly what I've been doing, except it won't scroll. It'll stick with it, right? Or you print it out, you write your name on it, and then you start filling this out. You just fill it out. So after having watched this, uh, basically want to have questions, right? So when we go to meet with each other, you should be able to say, hey, I've got a question for you about how I'm going to fill this out. Now, there is one for the A bus, and I have all that. Let's go back over here. Um, Sorry, I got my annotations there, but I really don't want to delete them right now because this video is almost over. All right, so right here, course sequence, declare major. That's where you turn in your assignment, and there's the AAS, and I thought I had the A bus in there, and I'll put that in there. And so you can actually just click this, and there's the PDF, and you can either print it off for yourself, or you can just pull it up on the screen and make notes. I told you about OneNote. You can dump that straight into OneNote and do that stuff in there, and then you'll upload it here. So you'll upload it as a PDF, or as I said, it is the one time that I'll let you put something physical in my hands. And then you can just print it off. You can write it all down on that, and we can make a copy so you have a copy and turn it in, and I'll grade it that way too. So again, think of the questions you have, put those down in your notes. Like, hey, I've got these questions, write that down in your notes. And then when we meet, then you can say, hey, I got a question. I put it in my notes, and this is what I want to ask you. All right, so that's the course sequencing. And now we'll move on to the next topic.